All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is the second day of the Manila mid cycle for the 2026.1 Gazpacho release. So we had some other discussions earlier this week, and they are all posted to the OpenStack Manila YouTube channel. There's a playlist for the Gazpacho mid cycle. So if you missed something or if you'd like to circle back to something we discussed, please go check the recordings in the OpenStack Manila YouTube channel. The link is here on the Manila Gazpacho mid-cycle Etherpad. Um, so on Tuesday we covered a lot of topics like US types, NetApp replication, synchronous replicas, and also the issues we were thinking of with snapshots, and also the new HP driver. We still have lots of topics to cover today, so we also were planning to cover um, some Manila UI features, but I think we can get started with some Dell features if Nilish is okay with that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nilish, floor is yours. If you'd like to do screen sharing, please do so, and then I can stop sharing my screen.
Sure. Let me know if screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think most of the patch are got reviewed, and at least it got +2, or some of the patches got 2+2. So let me quickly walk through that code changes, and I think it will not take too much time. It is like pretty straightforward. So first, I think we'll go through with the reverse snapshot part for the power skill. So we have added the support for the PowerShell snapshot, and I'm going to the core code review changes. So these are the configurations which we have taken for um, that to monitor the job status. So user can configure these parameters. For the reverse snapshot, the domain mark job is required. So we have domain mark job, and that only check for if the share type is enabled the reverse snapshot. We are creating the domain mark job. So generally, domain mark job is required for reverse snapshot. It is it is used like tagging for the files which require for the reverse snapshot. So yeah, for reverse snapshot, we require the snap ID. So we have added the snap ID uh, in the call of create snapshot that we will going to use for the reverse snapshot. These are the configuration parameter which we are getting from the Manila.file. And we have implemented the reverse snapshot for that PowerScale file. It will create the job for reverse snapshot. The another change which we have done for that PowerScale API. So if you are the parameters which we have read from the file which is required for over here. So during the create snapshot, we are returning the snapshot ID which we are going to use for the reverse snapshot. The main part is the create job. So when we create the job, we are checking the status of that job. So here we are creating job, and here we are checking the status of job at the regular interval. So behind the scene, the PowerScale is creating the job, and that job is async. So we are checking that status that that job is completed or not. So yeah, here we are checking that job status. In case of that job status, we are not able to find within a this configurable interval. So we are canceling that job, and we are updating the status of reward error as a error that that snapshot is not reverse snapshot is not done. So yeah, I think that's all for reverse snapshot. Uh, does anyone have a question regarding that? Yeah, Gautam.
Hey Nilesh, thanks. And I haven't come back to this review in a bit, so I'm just reviewing old comments.
Yeah,
So one of the
correct.
things that I mean, the code looks fine. Let me start with that. But the other thing I wanted to just check on was the other approach that we did that we spoke
Correct. Yeah.
about for async. Can you
Yeah.
explain what was what was better about this approach, or why the other one was not considered? Just to clarify, I just wanted to you know uh, explain what I meant. Like, so let's start with the PowerScale.py file, I think, where the revert snapshot starts off a job, and this is an
Correct.
async operation that happens on the back end. And there's a retry decorator that
Retry
waits
decorator
until
in the py file.
exactly. So waits
Yeah.
until the job is complete.
Correct.
And so far, I think the number of retries is am I seeing a hard-coded number here, or
Yeah,
um,
I think the retry is 20. Retry is 20, and the interval is 30 seconds.
I see, but with the exponential back off, right?
Yeah, with the exponent, I think exponential backup we have kept the one.
Oh, I see. Okay. So in your experience, has that, I mean, have you seen how long this typically takes with real data sets? Let's
Yeah.
say, mhm,
Yeah. So I think we have tested with a couple of GB file.
mhm.
So I think for more than a 10 GB, it is completed within the configurable time. So we have provided the default time. So more than a 10 GB is completed within a time.
I see. Um, but yeah, so my concern is any sort of limitations over there. Let's say somebody has a 1 terabyte or a a larger share. What happens?
So in that case, I think it will get fail,
Mhm.
and user need to reconfigure that job interval and the retries according to that. But we have not tested that 1 TB, and I think I'm not quite sure that it is going to, I think, 1 TB of, but uh,
It's
uh,
theoretically possible, right? So
yeah,
technically, there is no limit in
yeah,
the
there is
async
no limit.
interface. Um, so my
Yeah,
concern
I
over
think
there was,
that is, yeah, that is good point.
mm,
But actually, as of now, as we discussed with the that PO, so we decided that to keep that changes to the driver only, not going to the core changes. So I think that's good point. Uh, as of now, we are keeping that over here. In case of in future, that is come, we will go with the second approach that you have suggested.
yeah, the biggest concern would be that if the driver is going to do something, let's say it starts a revert job, right? What does that
Correct.
mean on the back end? I mean, I understand it can be cancelled, but does that actually manipulate anything on the share? And does it revert the manipulations if the job is cancelled?
No, I don't think it will be affecting the share. It will cancel that job. Just
Okay, that's something that I would like for you to verify so that there is no
yeah,
data
correct, correct.
corruption or
Yeah, yeah, correct. Yeah, I think so. I'll
okay,
get back to you that part.
sure.
If we
And
cancel that job,
yep.
what will?
So no risk of data corruption or
Yeah, no risk of data corruption. Correct, correct.
okay. Yeah, that would be the biggest concerns. So technically, I would definitely prefer an approach where you do this async with the share manager, and so that there are multiple advantages to this, right? One is the share manager is going to come and ask you for stuff, so you don't really need to have a retry in your in the driver. You don't need to wait in the driver and start a thread. Basically, the share manager has already done, dedicated a process to ensure
Correct.
that asynchronous operations are being checked on. It's just that so far we have not seen um, a restore or a revert. taking this kind of time, being async in the driver. So maybe yours is the first driver that introduces
Yeah, correct.
async
Yeah, that is why.
um,
Yeah.
stuff. So it should be straightforward to extend that async mechanism in the share manager, to just check for a revert status as well. So that's something that, um, I would strongly recommend, given that there could be a risk of the wrong thing happening here. But if you're able to guarantee, I mean, this is a feature in your backend where there's no data corruption. Things can be rolled back very safely. This is okay, stopgap. Except the other clarification that I was seeking is what happens if the share sizes are really large, and you're running into these the job timeouts.
Yeah, get back to you. I'll ask the that backend team what will
Mhm.
happen if we cancel that job, and what if we that is that possibility of 1 TB of data on the client side.
Sure. Awesome. That's all I had.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Apologies for the sidebar
Any other?
conversation. Yeah, sorry. Apologies for the sidebar conversation. I was trying to get this question from Anup. So there is something in the code that like the revert will not allow share. Manila will not allow the share to be reverted to, I don't know, another snapshot, and the API is taking care of that. So Anup was asking if we should take care of that in the driver or not. But yeah, API is already taking care of it, so you should be covered for that.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Yeah, that was my question around this.
No problem.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. I think let's move to the next code changes.
Very quickly, sorry.
Sorry.
The other
Yeah.
thing I was noticing on these patches is the testing. So have you folks tested this using, I mean, locally? And the reason I ask is I think these tests are optional. Oh, in this particular case, I
Actually,
think you've turned it on.
yeah. Actually, I turn. So today morning I turn on all the test cases, like
Oh,
for
thank you.
manage and manage,
Mm,
for snapshot mount. I turn on all the test cases.
nice. Thanks. That works.
Okay. I think the manage unmanaged part is done by the another team members. So I'll cover only the manage admin snapshot, which I work on that part and I have idea of that. If anyone have a question regarding that manage unmanaged share, they can put comment over here. So let me quickly go through that manage unmanaged snapshot part. Yeah. So for the manage existings, we are taking the provider location. The provider location simply is the snapshot ID, and it will checking that snapshot is exists on backend side or not. Also, it is checking that snapshot path is belong to the share or not. So if it is not belong to that share, it will give the error. And also it is checking that snapshot size is provided uh, not in the float value or not in the uh, invalid value. So if it is like invalid value, it throws the error, and simply it is written the provider location and the snapshot size. Few changes on the PowerScale API, that is checking that uh, the snapshot is exists with the ID or not. Yeah. Also, yeah, correct. If the clone value is clone snapshot is a when we do the clone snapshot of that existing uh, sorry, this is I think okay, correct. Yeah, when we do the clone of the manage snapshot, that time we require the snapshot actual snapshot name in that case. This we require because of If user provide the different snapshot name, then in that case the path will be get filled. So we have changed this for. Any question? I think no. Okay, let's
Uh,
quickly move to the, yeah.
1 second. I think in the manage stuff, you are redoing the export path, aren't you? Like, or are you
Yeah,
retaining the export path
yeah, actually in the snapshot mount, I added that code that.
in the snapshot case? Okay, I was looking at the share one, and it's not
Okay,
obvious to me that. So you're grabbing the
manage
export
X.
path from the existing share, um, and from what I can tell, this is returning the same export path back to the share manager, correct?
Uh, I think this code is done by the another team member, so I'm not quite aware about that. You can drop a comment
Yeah,
if you have any doubt.
yeah, makes sense. Thank you. The concern over there was, I mean, one of the things would be to modify the export path, and we've discussed this in the past. Uh, all of the existing drivers do that, and so it's an existing behavior, but I'm not sure it's ideal behavior, given that sometimes folks have actually come to us and told us that they would like a non-disruptive manage to work, which means that nothing changes about the managed share as far as clients are concerned. So if they have mounted something, it remains mounted, and you shouldn't be like changing up the export path. But that's something that we have not done. So I'm curious if that's what the driver is doing here.
Okay,
I can leave a
you
comment.
can, yeah, you can put that.
Yeah, thanks.
Like, let's quickly move to the snapshot mount part. Yeah, so the for the snapshot mount, we have a predefined folder where all the snapshot are getting stored. So generally, we are checking that share as a mount snapshot support or not. So we are creating export path for that snapshot. Uh, when we delete the snapshot, okay, that time we are deleting the export. So I made changes to avoid the duplicate code. So I have created another method for the common code. So during the share delete, we are also deleting the export as well. So I have did some changes regarding that. So during the delete snapshot, we are deleting the export as well. These are the some changes which we have do for the access rule. So also we uh, created some kind of common code use. So I have changed regarding that. Yeah, this is like providing the read-only access to the shift snapshot. Also same for we have provided access for like uh, IP access, and same for the some of the shifts regarding permission. We have changed the code regarding that. So to keep the common code, we have changed some of the, and which we have also tested during that part. Yeah. The main, I think this is the important one. Uh, if we do the uh, mount existing uh, import the existing snapshot, we are checking that the mount snapshot is enable in that share. So we are creating the export of that uh, manage snapshot. And this is the common code which we have done. Uh, like it is created the snapshot export path. So when we when we do any snapshot created, it will check that whether the snapshot is NFS or CIFS. It will create the export according to that. Okay, for the delete export, we have created the common method. It will get called for delete share or delete snapshot. So during that, it will check whether it is NFS or CIFS. According to that, it will delete the uh, export. Also, we have done like we have implemented this method that when we enable a snapshot mount, it will enable the snapshot access as well. So according to shifts and NFS, it will do the access as well, provide the access rule according to that. Yeah, and this is the some of the API which we have added, like to create the export for NFS or uh, saves snapshot. Yeah, that's all. Any question?
I have one question about if you can go back to that previous
PowerScale.py.
file. Yeah,
Yeah.
whenever we are managing the status codes, why are we managing the status codes uh, in these files? Shouldn't that be a common code that should manage the status and throw errors depending on what status is received? Because I don't think it will change from, or handling will change based on status code, right, of the API response.
Oh, I'm not getting it. The for the
Because
PY file, API file.
yeah, yeah. For instance, I see some status code handling here, right?
Correct. Yeah, this one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you are saying that that should be a common method and that will check all the status, right?
Yep. Because now you have to do that for all
Correct.
the
Correct.
methods, right?
Yeah. Correct. Correct. Yeah, that is a good point. We should do that part.
Inside that post request, send post request, you should have a handling for all the status codes as well, and throw errors
So
based on what you are expecting or not.
correct. Correct. Yeah. And that is, I think, yeah, that's a good point. Also, we can do the some of like instead of changing the send code, we can add new method and check the status of the response in the command method.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, I
we
got
will.
muted. Yes, yes, that I think that would be a good approach. In fact, if you can, I mean, you can note it down maybe for the future changes if
Sure,
you
sure.
want to take some kind of a tag debt.
Sure. I'll get in the next
Sure.
part. We will consider that. Sure.
Yep, that's all.
Any other question?
Sorry, I have
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I've reviewed this earlier, but I think there's something that I missed, and I guess when we were walking through it, it's in the PowerScale.py file.
Okay.
I think it's line 566 when you are doing the access update for CIFS. So
566. Yeah.
yeah, that
Correct.
one. So we check you're checking, like if it's read only, and also like if there are currently user or like permissions to read it. But I mean, from what I read there, maybe it's like only my lack of knowledge on the Dell documentation or the Dell storage stuff. Um, like if there is a permission read and allowing, like to something that's saying everyone, will that grant access to everyone to read this share? Sorry, this might be like a very basic question, but is that the behavior we are expecting, or like should we be careful? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's the behavior of that. So that's what I'm trying to ask here.
So when we create the uh, export of that snapshot, that should be the read only, that which we have decided, and it is for all user. And if someone add the user, so we will remove that everyone read only permissions and only allow access to that users. And if that user will get deleted, we are providing the access to the read only to the every user. And that is the, I think, when we create the export, it's default providing the access to the uh, everyone,
In
the
Nilesh,
read
and
only.
I'm not sure if you were on the call yesterday. I think we had this problem with the new driver that's getting written as well. This is the HPE driver. So we had the
Yeah,
same exact issue, and we were discussing that it's not really a secure mode of operation, right? When somebody creates a new share, they don't expect it to be exported. I understand that that's probably the default behavior in you know in the server, but that's something that you should probably try to work around in the driver and make it more secure.
so in that case, when we create the export, you means we should not provide any access unless
Correct. Yeah, unless it is
administration add
explicitly
that.
asked. Yeah,
Okay, got it. Got it. I'll check it out.
yeah. And so this seems to be a pre-existing problem with the shares as well, right? Because I looked at this as
Yeah,
common code,
correct. Yeah,
and,
that is also
refactored,
correct. Correct. That is also problem with the share as well.
right? Yeah, so that would be something that I mean, I
Yeah,
guess
that
at least file a bug against the driver, even while you're investigating. And if anything, what HPE is preferring to do during this cycle, I think, is to just document that behavior and to find a way to fix that bug.
sure. Yeah, I think I'll file the bug, and we will ensure that it should not have a permission for share and snapshot as well
Yeah,
when we create.
perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Any question? Yeah, thanks, Carlos.
Yeah, not on my end. Um,
Okay, let's move to the next patch. Let's quickly move to that parsecall.py file. So I so when we create the NFS share, we are generally checking that mount snapshot is mount point name is provided in that share or not. If mount point is provided, we are creating the uh, for NFS in the PowerScale backend. There is kind of aliases support is provided. So the alias is providing instead of the long path, we can create the alias against that long path. So using that aliases, we are creating aliases, and that aliases we are um, providing as an export path. So that is for NFS. And for shifts, we are creating direct that mount point name export for that. And during the delete NFS share, we are deleting the uh, aliases as well, which we have created during the create. So when we create the NFS share, we are creating two export. One is the actual one, and one is the aliases. This is the same for shifts. When we deleting the shift, we are deleting that shifts according to mount point name. Yeah, I think there is a one issue I got that during the ensure share, that during the ensure share, uh, that mount point is not we are getting from uh, base code. So I have changed, I have added the few lines in the base code that during the ensure we are retrieving the mount point name. Some of the code there for like creating NFS aliases and getting that NFS aliases and deleting the NFS aliases on the backend side. I think that's all. If anyone have a question.
Uh, this is pretty cool. Thanks. I don't think I have a question regarding the code itself, but the testing. Uh, this
Yeah,
is one of those
correct.
things that
Actually,
I'm not sure
yes,
we have a lot of tests for. Um, I mean, I don't even remember if we have any basic API tests for this. Have you tried at
uh,
running your own manual tests against this sort of thing?
correct. We have tested like manually things,
Mm,
and actually, I was looking that in that CI that whether there is an option for doing the, but I did not find any options. So
yeah.
actually, we have done some kind of manual testing for that as well.
Okay. Thank you. I think yeah, I think we should probably work on at least a scenario test or even an API test where we probably do a I mean the problem is that we can't really determine the whole export path, but a substring match to what we've
Correct,
configured would probably be a good test.
correct.
Yeah, but that's not nothing to do with your
Yeah,
patch. Thanks for testing it.
yeah. During the with the code changes, and we already tested that.
Hmm, makes sense. Thanks.
We have run the that Dell CI to check it out. Uh, is there any existing functionality is not getting read? Any question? Okay, I think that's all from my side. And there is another patch is share syncs. I think that is all already got review and that got 2+2. Yeah, and we enable that share sync in that CI part. So you will find that share sync test cases in the latest result.
Great. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is a one patch left. Abhishek from my team will going to present that. I'm stop. I'm shared. Sorry.
Thank you, Nilesh.
Thank you. Abhishek.
Abhishek, can you hear us?
Hello, hi.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I'm trying to share my screen. One second.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yes, is the screen visible to everyone?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so in this patch, I will be talking about the deduplication support at Manila share level. To give the overview about deduplication, is like deduplication is a feature in Dell PowerScale cluster which will enable us to save the storage space. What happens is that if deduplication tries to find the duplicate blocks and if there are any duplicate blocks, it tries to create a shadow store, right? And then it replaces the duplicate blocks with the pointers to the shadow store. So that is how it is functioning in the backend, at least in PowerScale. So here I'll go through the code changes which we are doing in PowerScale. PowerScale.py we have. Okay, so here we are processing the deduplication feature as extra spec, and if you see in we are enabling it for both NFS share and SIFT share. We have this method process dedupe defined here. So in the process dedupe, we are trying to find out whether the dedupe is enabled for that particular share type or not. So here we are trying to fetch the share type ID, and then we are trying to fetch the value of the deduplication. And if the deduplication is true, right? If the customer wants to enable the deduplication at Manila share level, then we will be doing some processing. We will be calling update dedupe settings method. Here you can see this update dedupe settings. We have defined one of the API, which is get dedupe settings. So what will happen is this API will fetch the paths and the access paths of NFS share or SIFT share, right? So once we get the paths, we will be registering those NFS or SIFT path in this deduplication settings API. Why we are doing that is because we want to run the deduplication job at share level. So the PowerScale cluster requires us to set the paths and the access paths in the deduplication settings screen, which is there in the PowerScale. Access paths, we are why we are doing in access paths is because there is also one another feature which is called as deduplication assessment job. So if you want to access what will be the storage savings in terms of the blocks in the share, right? So in that case, we have to register the NFS or SIFT path in that access paths, right? So once we set that particular NFS or SIFT path in this, right, we are triggering the modified dedupe settings, that is put API call, and we are registering these NFS or SIFT path in deduplication settings UI page. And after that, what we will be doing is we will be retrieving the deduplication schedule, right? And we will be checking whether the schedule is set on Sunday at 12 a.m. every 1 week. This is the default schedule which we will be targeting, right? If this is not set, then we will be triggering this schedule dedupe job, and this dedupe job will just go on and it will just set the schedule. So at this particular schedule, the deduplication job will run on every Sunday at 12 a.m. And whatever paths we have registered in deduplication settings page, that deduplication job will get executed for those NFS or SIFT path. So this is pretty much for PowerScale.py file, and we have another thing PowerScale API.py. So uh, PowerScale API.py is again having all the OneFS API definitions. And since we also got one comment related to the status code, right? We will be handling that status code. We will plan in the future to handle this status code part in a separate function. And here you can see that we have OneFS API defined for get dedupe settings. In this, we are retrieving the existing deduplication settings, and modified dedupe settings is going on and updating the paths and the access paths in the settings tab of PowerScale cluster. And here we will be scheduling the dedupe job, and we have to be sure that dedupe is enabled in the backend. And here we are doing get dedupe schedule. We are trying to fetch the current deduplication schedule in the PowerScale cluster. Uh, yeah, that's much it for the code changes. Does anyone have any questions?
I think Girish has the raise hand. So Girish. Oh, sorry, Anup. My bad.
Yeah, I saw one
Yeah. So
comment from Anu also. Yeah.
yeah. So my question was, is this configurable the dedupe schedule via Manila.conf, or if I want to not do dedupe, I would basically not pass the share type, right, for that particular volume. But the schedule itself, is it configurable, or is it something that by default or is mandatorily to run with, irrespective of whether you can configure it or not? Because dedupes
Yeah,
and
it's mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it is configurable like in extra spec. When you are creating the share type, right? In extra spec, we if customer provides like dedupe is equal to true, then that means customer is trying to enable the deduplication at for that particular share only. And if customer doesn't set the dedupe, then the dedupe will not be set for that particular share.
But you have a hard coded time, right, at which it would actually run, which is basically what you do on the array, which you set it on the
Yeah.
array, which is every 1 weeks on Sunday at 12 a.m.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is something that we cannot change, right, in this current implementation.
Yeah, we cannot change because in the backend, right, it is defined like the string only. It is not a cron expression also. If we
Mhm.
try to fetch the API, right, we are getting like something like every 1 week or every 2 weeks on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So this is the expression which we have to set like this only in this case.
Yeah, but it can actually be put as a driver config, right, and taken
Mm,
from the manila.conf basically, so that if someone would want to, that can also. So basically there are two things. One is marking the share for dedupe. Second is the
mm,
running of the job that you set. uh,
okay. Mm,
and if I would want to tweak any of these two, I can actually control it on the share using the share type. But I cannot if I have any share type, but I don't if I would want to avoid anything that runs, I cannot configure that, that schedule or something that runs, or what at what occurrence it, or at what periodic schedule it runs, right? I
mm.
think it might be
Okay.
good if we can
Mm.
just open for kind of I'm looking for this. I mean, others can chime in, maybe Gotham. Is that something that is something we should do in this case?
Okay, you are telling that user can set the schedule based on his requirement. You are trying to. I
Yep,
mean,
because
we should. Okay.
yep. Why I'm saying this is because dedupes generally uh, are CPU consuming, right? These jobs should be configurable on when to run, because if you cannot configure them, it might, there can be countries which can be working on Saturdays and Sundays or something like that. There are a lot of countries where the durations and times don't work according to what we expect sometimes. So it might help them to tweak that schedule on a non-working period or time.
Okay. Okay. So at least in the UI, we are having that option to tweak the schedule. But yeah, in this case, we can try to explore. So you are telling that in Manila.conf, we can try to set the parameter and then we can try to change the schedule here, right?
Yeah, it can be a driver config is what I was kind of proposing, but if there are
Okay,
any other
driver conflict. Yeah,
comments
got
on
it.
that.
Got it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as of now, currently in the UI, we have that option that the user can change the schedule on the basis of his or her requirement. But yeah, as we talk about this code part, we can try to explore that part. Thank you so much, Anu, for this comment. I think that would work, right? Mm.
Yeah, maybe Gautam, Carlos, if you guys have any.
Yeah, because based on the discussion with the our team decided to set the this schedule as default for now. But yeah, if we have
Yeah,
that kind of comments. Yeah.
yeah, we will get back to with that what we can do in that case if we user want to configure. But there is a kind of drawback for that if user does not provide the proper cron or proper uh, timing or expression. In that case, the uh, it will uh, impact that it will throw
So
error.
you can maybe keep a default value and keep it configurable. Some kind of
Yeah,
a
we can get do that.
yeah.
Yeah, can we do like that? This is see, like this is the default value every 1 week on Sunday, but we can tell the user that he can log into PartScale UI and can change the schedule if it is very important to change it. I mean, in the
No.
UI, at least we are giving that capability.
Yeah, sorry. I think Gotham had a raised hand at some point, and he had audio issues. On my end, I would agree with Girish's point of like maybe this should be something configurable, even though like it's a formed string or something that can be formed. So if we think or
Okay.
look at the variables that can be changed and turn them into configuration options, that would be great. Yeah, Gotham had his raised hand. So Gotham, what's your take on this?
Hey, check. I'm not sure if my mic is working.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay, perfect. All right. Something was wrong. Yeah, no, I agree with this stuff is what I left on a code review comment as well just now. That it would be nice to have this configurable. Of course, the driver can make that as easy as it can be, right? So maybe multiple options or a template that you provide or a in the option documentation you can talk about what are the valid values that are possible and so on.
Okay.
So those things are possible. Um, the other thing I wanted
Sure,
to check,
sure.
uh, unrelated to this, which is a great point, that's something that you should probably look at improving. But the other thing was, have you tried rebasing this on top of the other changes? Because I see a patch train for the rest. Um, and the reason I ask is this is a common capability change that's happening. And there are two ways you can bring, I mean, you can create shares in Manila, right? One is through the create mechanism, the other is the manage workflow. So I just want to make sure that this is working even with the manage workflow. That's the point.
Yes, I think we'll rebase it, but yeah, manage workflow is independent of this. We can, uh, yeah, we are sure that it will work, but yeah, we'll rebase it and we'll check
Rebase and
once.
test it because this is one more of those things that the Manila's Tempest plugin will not test for you.
Yeah,
Because I mean, there's no way for us to verify dedupe, right? It's not something that's apparent over the API. So it's something that you would have to test manually. So try both
yeah.
the create and the manage workflows with this is what I was thinking.
Sure, Gautam. Yeah, thank you. We'll test it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Uh, do we have any more comments? Okay, then I think I'll move to next batch. Yeah, thank you so much, team, for your review comments on this patch. We'll address it as soon as possible. Let's move to the next patch. Yeah, so this patch was done by one of our team members. So I'll try to cover this patch. So this is actually related to a launchpad bug which was open. So this was the launchpad bug in Dell Power Store. Creation of share group was failing. So okay, let me go to the code changes. Yeah,
Abhishek,
so
we are not able to see. I think it
oh,
is
okay,
for
not able
me.
to see.
It is still the due.
Oh yeah, it's still the dedupe.
Sorry. Let me just check once. Yeah, are you guys able to see?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, this patch was done by one of our team member. So I'll try to cover this. So this is related to one of the launchpad bug which was open in Dell Power Store. creation of share group was failing. Okay, so in this patch, the member has worked on fix to create share group when only share properties are provided in filter function. And it is a, I think, straightforward fix. If you go to the driver file, here we are just adding one condition. And your condition is that if the request spec is containing share ID, right, and we have the share size in filter function, then only do the filtering, otherwise don't do the filtering. Because what was happening is because since this filter function is applicable for all the shares, right, for every share you will be having some share id, right, but in case of share group, because share group is actually having multiple shares, so share group will not have the request spec, will not contain the share id part. So in that case, that's why we are adding this check. So after adding this check, actually the creation of share group works. Without this, it was throwing some key error. It was not able to find filter out the host. So yeah, that was the fix. Do we have any comments on this?
Yeah, I don't
So
have any
basically,
comments.
CI job is also passing.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, please go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's it from my side. At least I needed to cover this one only.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, looks good to me. I think this was discussed on the bug as well, and the solution looks fine.
Oh, thank you so much, team. Yeah, that's it from my side. I'll just stop the share.
Awesome, thank you, Abhishek and
Thank you.
Nilesh for bringing these changes up. Um,
Thank you everyone for checking the and looking into the patch.
welcome. All right, so we have
Check. Carlos, can you hear me?
oh, sorry, I can hear you.
Carlos,
I was
Yeah, I
on
think
mute.
you just went mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry. I was talking on mute. So we have a couple more topics to cover. I think next one in the list was Manila UI features. So we have Rose joining us today. Rose is our outreach intern. She's working with the team on helping us getting the feature parity in the Manila UI. So yeah, Rose, are you around? Would you like to go next?
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, Rose.
Hi.
Would you like to do screen
Okay.
share, or would you like me to do the screen share for
Yeah.
you?
And let me share.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to be presenting changes to Manila UI on the OpenStack Horizon dashboard, and it's basically for share snapshots, share export locations, and share network subnets. So the features being introduced are the manipulation of metadata for each of those components on the dashboard. So that's basically the creation of metadata and the manipulation, which is the deletion, addition, editing, or even filtering. So I'll start with for share snapshots as it's the most distinct. Then I'll do share export locations and network subnets together because they're a bit similar. So for snapshots, we already have the snapshot table. Okay, I'm also going to be displaying the changes on my dev stack. So we already had the snapshot table. So that made it possible. So the only changes that were made is adding the obviously connecting the API. So we got the function for setting metadata, for unsetting metadata, and also for the creation of a snapshot with metadata. The function was also modified to handle that. And then for the form, we added a form for we first edited the form for the creation of a snapshot so that we can be able to add metadata while creating the snapshot. And also we added the form for the updating metadata like independently when it's not during the creation. And the rest of the changes are just on the table, adding the column for metadata as it wasn't there before. Yeah, adding the column and also, yeah, basically adding the column and ensuring that you can filter using that metadata. And then templates, these are 3 templates, one for the description that the user is given when they are creating the snapshot with metadata. So they are told that they can add metadata when creating the snapshot. And also for updating, we have both templates for updating so that the update can work and also so that the user can have all the information that they need. Also added the relevant URLs for editing and updating metadata, the relevant URL connected to the view, and tests also, yeah, added 3 tests for the whole process, both creation and updating. So we have the getting the metadata, updating metadata, and also unsetting metadata, and also creating a snapshot with metadata. So for the functionality at the moment, so can you see the dev stack screen?
Yes.
So it's just the usual process. You go to a share, then say create a snapshot, but then before, okay, that is missing. Create a snapshot. I'll present that in a few. Let me first present this one that's present. Share networks, and I'll present the one for snapshots in a bit after I get the changes to my dev stack. So for snapshots and export locations and subnet and network subnets, previously they were all in being displayed. This is for network subnets. Previously they were being displayed in the detail view for the share network or for the share. For the share before, you would see the export location here in the details, in the share overview, but for both, we've moved them to a separate export locations tab. This is for share export locations. And in this tab, you can see all the details that you could see before for the export location, which is the path, whether it's preferred, whether it's admin only, the replica ID, but then we've also added metadata and actions. The only actions we can have at the moment is editing metadata. So the code change for that, this one was not a lot of changes. So it's also adding the API details for those actions, also creating the relevant form for updating metadata, and also creating this is just updating metadata for the export location, because you can't create a share with export location, it's assigned automatically. So we only added the form for updating the metadata, which also allows you to add the metadata initially. And then we moved the export locations from the detail view to a separate tab. So we now have a tab for the export location. And we also have now the table itself for the export location, which is in the tab, which was created. The table and the filters and all the related actions for making sure it's well populated. And then these are just the relevant templates. We edited the detail template because the export locations were removed from the detail view. And then these are the templates for updating the metadata. And then the URL link, which links to the view. And this is the view for updating the metadata. And making sure that filtering actually works. And yeah, and these are just the tests. The tests to make sure that everything works well for the metadata, getting metadata post, and also testing that the tab works. And the changes are similar they're pretty much similar for subnets because they were also in the detail view for the share networks. The only difference is that subnets had a workflow because they are linked to share networks, so there was a workflow. So that's only additional form that's been edited for subnets. The rest is similar to export locations. So for export locations, the way to view it is similar to how it was before. So you just go to a share, click on it, go to its detailed view, but then the export locations will be in a new tab. So I had created metadata for these two, but this one doesn't have metadata yet. If there's no metadata, it will just say none. And then if you want to create metadata, just do the normal key is equals to value, and you save, and you can see your metadata there. If you want to remove metadata, it's just typing the key alone, and the metadata will be unset. And then you can also filter. Like this one has 29, so we can filter with 29, and it's the only one which will be displayed. The third one had Hakuna, so we can just type Hakuna and it will be the one that will be displayed. Similarly, yeah, you can edit metadata for any of them. So yeah. Oh, and if you set it in the wrong way, like maybe you do no minus value instead of no is equals to value, if you miss out on the equals or something, it will throw an error and tell you that yeah, something is wrong. So you will need to set that. And so that's for networks. For export locations. For networks, it's different because you can create a network with a subnet, and the subnet is what is taking the metadata. So the process will go like just the usual way. I didn't get my changes here. Just a little bit. Just a moment. So I'm going to share network. And then I'm going to create this image. Yeah, now we have the option to create with metadata. So we specify all the other details. And now be able to create it with metadata. And then we'll get the network. This is it. So when you open the network, the information subnets will be inserted. And this, now you can see the metadata that we've just created. And in the same way, you can edit by setting the key. And when you unset, it's none, or you can, yeah, you can also add as many as you want. Yeah, and then if you have many subnets, you would also be able to filter. And yeah, and also if you have an existing network and you want to add a subnet, you can also add metadata for that subnet here. You can also create it with metadata. Okay, I think I typed it wrongly, so it's thrown an error. But yeah, you also have the help texts telling the user what to do for the metadata when they're creating. Yeah. If we have time, we can also show for snapshots. Can I show for snapshots also?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. A bit. So for snapshots, See, before we don't have the metadata column, but with the new changes, we'll now have the metadata column displayed with all the metadata you've set. And then you can edit metadata independently. Yeah, so you can make whichever changes you want for the metadata. And so they've been deleted, the two of them. And you can also add. Yeah, they won't all be shown here, but when you come here, you can see all of them. So yeah, those are the changes. Basically, for all three, it was just the ability to create and manipulate the metadata. So manipulation is just setting and unsetting the metadata that for those resources. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, no questions on my end. Just one thing, like it's really awesome all the work you have been doing. I feel really happy. Yeah, that like we're making this much progress, and also with all of the work you have been putting in Manila UI. So really awesome. We are really lucky to have you working on this. And yeah, thanks for demoing and for working on the changes and addressing the comments so quickly. Rose been working with us in a couple of other things as well. So yeah, I don't have any questions so far, but yeah, just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question to the export locations. What would happen if you're not an admin? There are, I think, two fields. I think there is admin only and the replica ID, which are only shown if you are an admin.
Okay, let me show
Would
that.
would it just show empty columns, or would the columns go away?
Let me display that.
I'm not working with Horizon, so I don't know how this is handled at other places.
So for export locations, we are currently logged in as an admin. But demo. So for the admin panel, the admin panel will be showing what was there originally. Like we have not made changes to the admin panel, so it will be showing the exact things that was there before.
Sorry, I'm not referring to the admin. If you are in the project and look at the share export location, you see the two fields, the share replica ID and the is admin only. Those two fields, if you're not an admin in the project, if your role is not admin,
you won't see them.
You wouldn't see them, are they?
Won't see them. Sorry, I had signed in as an admin. So this is what you will see. locations. Yeah, you won't see those details because they are only visible to the admin. Is admin and replica ID. Yeah, you don't see them. And there's also, also the other one have three because there's one that is admin only. So now we can only see two export locations because the other one, a user who's not an admin can see it.
Yeah, thanks for showing.
So this is what the demo will say. Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty good question because I think I've not noticed that we were retaining the is admin only thing out here. Partially because I mean it doesn't make sense to have that column at all inside the user's view. Maybe we should make that optional in the template, unrelated to all of this. But it's an interesting question that probably makes us realize that. Um, it's a similar in a similar vein. I think there's going to be some export location metadata or even share metadata for that matter that can't be modified. This is stuff that we've added in the recent releases in Manila. I'm wondering if that error message is actually percolating fine to the UI. Like for example, if you go to edit metadata and try to set the set preferred as one of the metadata items and say preferred equals true or something like that. Um, yeah, I'm just wondering because this is something that Manila should tell you that it's not possible. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's not bad. It's not telling you which metadata item, so that's a little weird. But it's basically because you tried to access the preferred metadata, which is not really something that you can do. You'll have many more such things because that stuff is admin configurable. So it's basically whatever deployment is customized that you can't really manipulate. Um, Stuff that can be set once and not again. Stuff that drivers set and so on. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks, Rose. I'll echo what Carlos said. I mean, this is really good work. Thank you so much. We're bumping up the minimum version of Python Manila client as part of this because we're now getting onto very recent micro versions. So that's actually a pleasant change for Manila UI. It's always been lagging by several releases. So great work on that, Rose.
Thank you.
I was curious on the previous CSS changes that you had that were in line. So I don't see them in the code anymore. So did you decide to use any existing classes, or did you have to make changes elsewhere?
When I switched to the tab and the table, so it just inherits the ones that are set by Horizon, the
Oh,
classes,
that's
the
perfect.
styling
Okay.
classes.
Yeah, that was something I was nervous about because Horizon was built for multiple form factors and so on. So it's also a responsive thing based off of some frameworks. So if we were to do some styling, that we had to make sure that is responsive as well. So I'm glad we don't have to make any of those custom changes. This looks much better. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, there's no like styling anymore. Okay.
Any more questions to Rose?
Hey Carlos,
Yep.
we're introducing this share replica metadata, right, in this release.
Yep.
I think similar kind of enhancement may be needed there, maybe in the upcoming releases.
Yeah,
On the UI.
ideally we would introduce every single feature introducing Manila to the Manila UI as well. We have not been, as a team, not been updating that a lot. But if you have the cycles and you like to work on it, yeah, that would be awesome.
Send another question and share my screen. Thank you for listening.
Awesome. Thank you, Rose. This is really great. Thanks for the walkthrough, the live demo. That's also, like something lots of people would be scared of, like doing live demos.
And yeah, I was thinking halfway through the demo gods were getting her, but Rose is stronger than that. That's interesting. You actually got the create to work flow to work without much this thing. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what happened with the cherry picking. It's like it didn't bring everything.
Awesome. Any other questions to Rose? I think we only have 5 minutes, which makes it difficult to cover many more topics. We had a couple of other things to take a look at, meaning Manila Tempest plugin, config rewrite, the Manila client cleanups, which maybe it's worth like some heads up and also some mentions here. So I'll just like share and share the screen and also check if we can ask for some reviews help on this or everything. And we should also do some reviews assignment to all of these features that we discussed. I know lots of you have been reviewing some of these changes already. So yeah, so that covers all the topics mostly, right? We had ensure shares in the WebDriver and also some others. But for the ones in the parking lot, there are two things that you might have seen my email to the mailing list, meaning Manila client cleanups and the remove API, remove view one API. We are finally removing those pieces from the code. So Manila client cleanup, what does it mean? Well, in Z, we reached feature parity with the Manila shell client, and then there was a migration path. Like whenever you typed a Manila command, it would show you the equivalent command in OpenStack in the OpenStack CLI. So that's been up for a while, and we are removing the Manila shell client this cycle. Meaning, if you have something that depends on that, please go ahead and change it. Otherwise, things can break. Or not. Like you can still pin a version of the Manila client to a version earlier to this, but you start missing all of the goods from the new releases. So I would recommend you just switch that. The same thing, V1 API. Nothing should change with this, to be completely honest. But yeah, this is like 10-year old code that's being removed on this release. So please help us reviewing this. So ask, like Kiran, Girish, Morris, and Anup, or everyone in the call, basically, Vida as well, Sai, to if you have, please take a look at these changes because they're really important, and I don't think they will impact everyone. We expect that like we don't break anything, but it's better to have more eyes on it and review the changes. I'll also go update some changes and make like I add review assignments. But yeah, it would be awesome to have help on all of the driver changes from driver maintainers and people that are experts on the driver, considering the like the experience in the code base. I think that covers like very briefly the Manila client cleanups and the remove V1 API. There's also the transition to Keystone Auth, which I didn't touch base on. So I'm not sure. Gautam, would you like to share some details of that, or pretty good?
On the V1 API or
No, sorry, on the transition to Keystone Auth, which is one of
oh yeah, the
the big
Keystone auth.
items. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, no. So that patch got very simple thanks to the removal of the shell client. So Keystone Auth has been the way to do identity management with client software for a long time now. Except the Manila client was still using Keystone client. So there were some old options that had to get removed, and we had deprecated a bunch of them. In this transition, I think that we're just getting rid of three of them, just making them ineffective. But Keystone Auth provides a lot more. options, a lot more kinds of authentication that's possible. So all that is exposed through the same mechanisms. So patch is way more straightforward than it was without well preserving the shell client. But because this depends on the shell client's removal, we could get rid of a lot of it.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you for working on this and also for sharing what this change means.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are 1 minute over time. But if I can, I would like also to share the word on the spread the word on this change. This is what we are calling the Manila Tempest plugin config rewrite. What does this mean though? It changes the way that we are enabling the tests to be run, meaning that like we are duplicating the current way that we do things. So like when you wanna enable manage and manage tests, we will do run manage and manage tests, but that will change going forward. So we are not removing that right now. That is being reworked, that is being deprecated, but those options, they will be removed in the future. So for everyone that has third-party CI, I would definitely recommend to start looking into this and following this change. And as soon as we merge this, if you'd like to start migrating your CI already, that would help avoiding that your CI system will break in the future when we actually do the removal of these other config options. Also, help on reviewing this is much appreciated. Liron's been working on this change, posting patches, also got them helped posting patches, but we had a couple of reviewers on this, and more reviewers will be welcome here too. That said, yeah, I think that covers this. And one last change. Sorry, we are 2 minutes over time. We are planning to complete the removal of eventlet from the Manila code base in this cycle. We currently have these changes. This is saying remove eventlet from Manila scheduler, but it doesn't. It removes from Manila API, scheduler, share. It's failing on CI, but that's something that I've been working on, and also Gotham's been helping with some the debugging and also understanding, been working on this. So what does that mean? Well, we will switch the threading backend from eventlet to also threading as part of this cycle. So I know it's a short notice, and not short notice, but a short, meeting duration for me to talk about this. But we can discuss this in the upcoming Manila weekly meeting, or in the OpenStack Manila YouTube channel. We don't need to wait. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. I think if we could carve out some time in the next week's meeting, we can actually talk through this.
Yes.
Especially if you're close to getting this patch merged.
Exactly. Yep. I'll do that. I'll start the agenda for the next week, and I'll add this as a topic. Right. So yeah, I'll start tagging people on reviews and also asking for looking at it. But please, let's go through these changes and review them. I'll tag you guys as reviewers, and yeah, well, it would be awesome to have everyone's eyes on this. That said, we are 4 minutes over the time that like we had initially planned for this meeting. So thanks for staying over. And yeah, do you have any questions, concerns, or something you'd like to bring up on this meeting, or can we wrap up and move all discussions to the OpenStack Manila channel, or the next weekly meeting? Right. He sounds as though.
No, thank you for organizing this.
No problem. Happy to do that. Yeah, it was nice. I think it was productive, like going through all of these changes and understanding everything. So thank you everyone for showing up, presenting changes, asking questions, and like this definitely helps making like features look in a very good shape. Also helps us ensuring that things are progressing. So thank you very much for participating, for presenting, asking questions, reviewing the changes. Yeah. Right. 5 minutes over. Let's wrap up, and I'll see you in the OpenStack Manila channel.
Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. See you.